in kind and close cooperation with the Department of Education in the Philippines, as well as with the Ministry of Education and Culture in Indonesia. Let us take a close look at how AIV was enjoyed by teachers in the Apec region, focusing on the webinar this time. And let us welcome Mr. Glenny Lapping from the Philippines to talk about his experiences at the 2020 AIV webinar. And why don't we welcome him with big round of applause.
Mabuhay! Good morning, everyone. It is an honor to be invited as a VIP participant to this prestigious Global Education Forum, the 16th Apec Future Education Forum, and the 8th International ALCOB Conference. My heartfelt thanks to our Department of Education Secretary Honorable Leonor Martolis Briones and Director Margarita Ballesteros for choosing me to represent my economy, the Philippines, in this global forum. And my snappiest salute to my Regional Director, Sir Sal Jimenez, to my School Division Superintendent, Dr. Wilfreda Bungalos, to my School Head, Dr. Wena Sagarino, to Miss Abigail Molina, to Mr. Myungson Park and the Working Committee, to the Office 365 Rangers, to my Microsoft Education Ambassadors family, to my GFT Global Filipino Teachers family, DepEd LLC Coders, to my wife Maureen and daughter Glenn, to my co-speakers, and to all the participants in the conference in South Korea and in the Facebook and YouTube Live, once again, good morning. Next, please. Here is the outline of my presentation today. First is the introduction. Second is the learning delivery modalities, or LDM. Third is the teacher and student empowerment. Fourth is the learning resources. And fifth is the students and parents feedback. All right, let us begin. Next, please. In the face of this continuing health threat, the Department of Education formulated the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, or LCP, to put into motion the marching orders of the Secretary, which states that ensure that learning continues while guaranteeing the health, safety, and well-being of all learners, teachers, and other Department of Education employees. Next, please. The LCP, or Learning Continuity Plan, recognizes that DepEd must adopt alternative modes of delivering learning if it is to reach all learners regardless of who and where they are. A learning continuity plan seeks to ensure that students' learning progresses even amidst disasters, such as natural calamities, storms, fires, and pandemics. This plan overcomes obstacles created by the disasters through innovative means of teaching and learning, keeping students on track with their courses. And one of the innovative means of teaching and learning in keeping students track with their courses is the LDM, or the learning delivery modalities, which leads to our next point. Next, please. Where school-based or face-to-face learning is not possible, the LCP identifies 3 delivery modalities that schools may implement. Next. Distance learning, which is divided into modular and online. Next. Blended learning. And next, homeschooling. And to know the preference of every learner, we have conducted a survey. Next, please. We have conducted a survey to identify what are the preferred modality of every student. Next. And the result was majority opted modular distance learning, followed by blended distance learning, then online distance learning, and homeschooling as the last. And after we have gathered the data of the type of modality a student wanted to learn, the next thing that we have done was conducting training through webinars to capacitate our teachers and students in this new normal of teaching and learning approaches. And this leads us to our point number 3. Next, please. Because we are not used to in the LDM or learning delivery modalities in the new normal, there is a need to empower all our teachers and students in order to cope up in this sudden shift to remote teaching and learning. I am so blessed to be part of the training team which served as frontliners, which conducted several webinars in the 3 major islands of the Philippines, namely Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Next, please. We train teachers on how to design their lessons based on the chosen modality. What are the learning resources that can be used and the manner of assessing the learners. Next, please. And of course, we have conducted orientations to all parents and students on the different learning modalities. Next. And because, can we go back? Thank you. And because it is difficult time for everyone, we have conducted also mental health and psychosocial orientations for our learners, parents, and teachers. And to make sure that our teachers and learners are ready, we have provided them with learning resources. And this will lead to our next point, number 4. Next, please. We have 2 official learning resources portals, namely, number 1, LRMDS, or the Learning Resources Management and Development System, for the teachers, where the teachers can access ready-made materials for their lessons. And number 2, DepEd Commons. This is for the students, an interactive online platforms which contains games and engaging lessons where learners can have learning and fun at the same time. Number 3, Moodle is used as LMS. And number 4, we are so blessed because teachers and students are provided with Microsoft Office 365 and Google Suite accounts to maximize productivity tools in content creation and curation. Next, please. For example, we use Microsoft Teams as virtual classroom. Teams is a collaboration hub for Microsoft 365 users with meetings and group chat, admin functions, and third-party apps like YouTube, Kahoot, Weeper, Quizlet, Edpuzzle, Flipgrid, Weeklet, Banzi, Padlet, Perdeck, DepEd Commons, etc. In other words, you and your students will no longer go out from Microsoft Teams just to access these apps, especially the productivity tools like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, etc. for their performance task because everything is there. It's a one-stop shop application. We also use Microsoft Teams as an official online platform for meetings, forums, and webinars in the Department of Education in the Philippines. Next, please. One of my favorite features which students, next, please. One of my favorite features which students and teachers love also is the Together mode, which is designed to build a virtual live avatar of all members of the team and negate their backgrounds. It provides the same feel of face-to-face meetings. It is being able to see all the members of the meeting together. Looking at all members together at once transcends beyond technology, as human beings are wired for being socially affable. These features leaves a feeling of being in a virtual company of a large group, rather than individual isolated boxes. It keeps the excitement alive. It makes us feel more comfortable and natural during a video call. Next, please. I can record my lessons for my students to view later. This is my online distance learning asynchronous instruction pre-recorded video lessons using Microsoft Teams, which was featured in our local news TV. And another innovation or project which we have created in our division, where I am one of the programmers or coders, which was also featured in the news, was the creation of the offline module application. Next, please. This app helps reduce in the production of modules. In other words, it saves a lot of trees as it goes paperless. And it addresses the internet connectivity issues since it is offline. Next, please. We have also TBI, or the TV-based instruction. Next, please. And RBI, or radio-based instruction. With all these resources, teachers, learners, and even parents were assured that everything is going to be all right. That is why we gathered some feedbacks from the learners and parents. Here are some of these. Next, please. Can you please play the video, please? Okay, so if it can't play, I'll just read the feedback. So the student said, I like it because I don't need to find a pencil in the house. I can just sit down and type. Next, please. And one parent said, the class has really been very interactive despite the virtual settings. All right. So as I close, next, please. Next. All right. Though this pandemic closes a lot of doors, however, it opens another. Though COVID-19 cases are dramatically increasing, but teachers and students' digital literacy are also rising exponentially. Imagine, teachers and students become vloggers. Teachers transform into TV and radio broadcasters, DJs and announcers, where parents learn some teaching skills while at home. And thanks to technology, it allows us to do all these things 24/7. Again, this pandemic is not a hindrance for education to continue, but an opportunity to adapt, create, and innovate. Next play, please. Thank you and mabuhay.
Thank you so much, Mr. Glenny Lepping from the Philippines. And thanks to his presentations, the AIV 2020 webinar was well decorated, and his presentation left a lot of significance in the field of remote education and remote learning and teaching in particular. And of course, we can overview the education and educational trend in the Philippines so that we can make a policy or make a strategy together for mutual cooperation in the future. Thank you so once again. Thank you so much, Mr. Glenny Lepping. I fully enjoyed your presentation. I look forward to working more closely with you in the future. All right. Next, we have the second speaker.